All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. People might join in as we're going, but that's fine. First and foremost, thank you all for joining us today. We have a really awesome webinar in store. We are chatting with Tumbleweed Elementary. They're going to share with us a little bit about their house system and some of the results that they have seen from it. So some real quick housekeeping before I turn it over. This webinar will be recorded. So after the event, you will receive a recording as well as a slide deck. So if something comes up that you have to tend to, you have to leave a little bit early, or if anyone joins a little bit late, that will be sent out either this evening or first thing tomorrow, depending on how quick I can get the recording to load. So other than that, just a reminder, if you have a question or anything like that, feel free to drop it in the chat. We will have a Q&A at the end, but I will be monitoring the chat and I'm more than happy to assist where I can. Other than that, I'm going to go through our agenda and then let's get this thing started. So our wonderful Tumbleweed team will be walking us through the house system overview, how they came to find the house system, how they rolled it out to their staff, how they rolled it out to their students, some house celebration ideas that you can take and implement or work to fit your own needs, and then some of the results that they've seen. So of course, the title of this, they cut referrals by 56%. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into that. And share some other awesome results that they have seen from their implementation of the house system. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to the principal of Tumbleweed, Miss Misti Larrick.
Thank you, Jordan. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. We are so excited to share our story with you. My name is Misti Larrick. I'm the principal here at Tumbleweed. This is actually, I'm starting my 6th year as the principal, assistant principal before that. So I've been blessed to be able to have some longevity here at Tumbleweed as well. And to my right is our amazing social emotional learning specialist is her title. She's a licensed social worker, Mrs. Lindsay Williams. Hello, everybody. And to my left, our amazing assistant principal, Dr. Rosalia Contreras.
Hi, everyone.
So we are also proud to say that through our journey, we are a Capturing Kids' Hearts, if any of you are familiar with that, national showcase school. We just got recognized for the 6th year in a row, and so we'll share more about that as we go along as well. So to start with, obviously, challenges. Tumbleweed was deemed a low-performing school, unfortunately, by the state. High suspension rate, low morale with both staff, students. When I arrived 9 years ago, there were really no systems in place for positive behavior, school culture, again, just low morale with staff and students and families. And so I knew that my role was to take care of the teachers and staff and pour into them and make our school a place that they wanted to be and where they felt cared for, valued, and supported so that they could then do the same for our students. So we received a school improvement grant, and over the course of 5 years, we've received a lot of training. And you can go ahead, Jordan, one. And I love learning myself, and so I attend lots of leadership trainings and conferences often. And so after having worked on school culture for several years, implementing very intentionally, the Capturing Kids' Hearts philosophy is just a way of being that we put student relationships with students first. We believe if we capture their heart, you have their mind, and we do that with staff, students, and parents. There's a quote from Flip Flippin, who is the founder of Capturing Kids' Hearts: "Greatness demands intentionality." It's in front of us right now. This is our wonderful staff meeting room that you see us coming to you from. You can see our houses in the background. So this is a wonderful space. But in my learning from all of those wonderful consultants over the years, I heard Hamish Brewer speak at a leadership conference. He has a book, Relentless. If you haven't gotten it, I highly recommend it. But he grew up attending schools that implemented the house system, and he became principal of an elementary school that had very similar markers to our school, Tumbleweed. And in it, he talked about, among other things, working in school culture, improving it to make it positive. He talked about implementing a house system, and he referred to it as a game changer. So instantly I was intrigued, and I'm like, I think we're ready for that at Tumbleweed. We have all of our tier 1 systems in place. We have our PBIS for expected positive behavior. We have our Capturing Kids' Hearts, where we instill love and character into our students. We make them feel valued and loved and supported every day. We were ready for this. So I brought it to our leadership team, and they were on board, and we began our research. And in that research, we came across the Ron Clark Academy. It's a charter school in Atlanta, Georgia, and they happen to have a leadership conference on, if you want to learn how to implement the house system, this conference is for you. And so we put together a team of 11 or 12 of us several years ago, and went and attended that conference. And it was an amazing conference, gave us lots of details on how to implement the house system. It was just what we needed to ignite our passion and imagination. And we began instantly. We came back planning all the details. And let us tell you, there's a lot of details in planning, but you need the very first thing is get your core 5 or 6 people that are on board with you, and you can run from there. And we reached out to also, I'm going to give some credit to our friends in Florida, Mr. Alan Anderson, former principal of Freedom Crossing Academy, and his AP, Melissa Lime, and her team. They shared a lot of insight with us as well. And I know they have a lot of information on their school website as well. We still reach out to them. And they turned us on to Live School, which took our house system to a whole nother level. So we're excited to tell you. So year 1, planning the rollout and the details. So instantly we divided up the task. We knew there was a lot to do. Lindsay, I don't know if you want to share a little bit of that dividing of labor, because I know you did a lot of things. It's starting with the why, right?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot to get the house system started, a house system that's really going to make a difference with your school, but it is so important. And like Misti was saying, getting that core team that really is passionate about it, because it is a lot of work. We cannot lie to you about that, but it's work that will change your school, and I think just really change yourself and the students from the inside out, which I definitely want to talk about a little later. But the why is extremely important, because yes, this is something really fun, brings a lot of color to your school, competition, but that's not really what it is. It's about that sense of belonging, that sense of having connectivity within your school, within your staff, because like Misti was saying, if the staff doesn't want to be here, how do you think they're going to present to the kids? Like when we're standing in line in the grocery store, it's quite obvious when we don't want to be there and we're irritated, right? So when the whole system of the school, from the principal to, nobody's a low person on the totem pole of the school, everybody's important. But, from this person to this person to this person to this person, when they're all connected and have a main purpose, that's the reason, that's the why of the house system.
So we some of the team members created a presentation. We knew we had to bring back the why. The core team that went, we knew the why. We had to communicate that. And then also, those that didn't get to go to the conference, we wanted them to be as excited and as inspired as we were. So we instantly, the team again got creative. How do we build anticipation for this? And we knew we wanted to roll it out to staff first, all staff, custodian through kitchen staff, instructional aides, support staff, office staff, everybody. And another big important piece was inviting the right people to the conference. We invited classified staff and certificated staff. Our school secretary and our parent community liaison went, and that was a game changer because they're involved in so many other ways after you get it going. So I highly recommend that as well. But this bulletin board that you see here is one of the things we decided, you know what, let's tease the staff a little bit. Let's build anticipation and excitement. And so the team came up with, we'll kind of teach each of the houses that we learned from Ron Clark. And by the way, Ron Clark, if you go, they do allow you to use their houses. They have 8 houses that they've already created. You just sign a pledge that you won't make any profit off of them or you won't change them in any way. And it was a team decision to use their houses that existed. But there's other schools out there that create their own houses from the ground up. We did choose to use Ron Clark. Again, it was a team decision and they offer huge bulk rates on all of their swag. So we started just plastering a house at a time all around the campus. We decorated it, but we weren't saying anything. These things were just showing up. And then over morning announcements, I would teach about a crest or a specific symbol on the crest, like the house animal, and I would talk about it, talk about character traits. And then the first thing that bulletin board said was something big is coming, ... Nothing else was on the board. And this was in a prominent area where all staff walk by daily. And then as we talked about the house, we added those posters and those character traits. And it didn't take long for staff, but the big surprise for us was the students were noticing instantly. And they were asking each other and they were asking us out on campus, oh, I heard you talk about that on morning announcements, Mrs. Larrick. The wolf is the blue house. What's that about? And so it was giving us way more than we even anticipated from the beginning. Then we knew that, again, we scheduled a time to present the why presentation. And Lindsay was actually one of the people that created that presentation. And we had the whole team that attended the conference. They presented to those groups, instructional assistants, our kitchen staff, teachers, classified, and we really needed them to understand the why. And then we started telling them, you know, everybody is going to become a member of one of these houses and the house will choose you. And so we just used that excitement. And then we decided that they would receive super secret letters. So this was on our one of our reveal days. You can see office staff all on board. And let me tell you, the competition for the house swag, once you get going, gets fierce. Mrs. Williams, I think she has 5 pairs of Alturismo shoes.
I just bought a new pair. They come hopefully before next week.
Yeah, we're talking, Dr. Contreras is working on an airbrushed Nukamore jacket. There's custom shoes, glitter shoes. The sky is the limit for swag once you get going. And so we came up with, all right, once we reveal to the staff, every Wednesday is going to be Housewear Wednesdays, which would then build the anticipation for the students as well. So if you go to the next slide, you can see the team. Again, this is a detail that you would want to plan for. How are you going to reveal to your staff? So this is some of us working. We decked out our cafeteria, our multi-purpose room. There were swag bag tables up there. We dimmed the lights. We had black lights. There were blinking lights everywhere, music. The staff came in through this glitter wall, and all of the members of the team were there to greet them, welcome them. Are you guys ready to see which house is gonna choose you? What's it gonna be? And every staff member, which, you know, at schools, staff don't get to connect a lot. So to have the kitchen staff, the instructional assistants, the custodians, all there, and they had no idea what they were in for, but once the lights turned on, they had this, and we, during the reveal, we did a countdown, and each group got to rip open their super secret letters that we created and find out. And then the housemates that were already in the house, the ones that attended the conference, they instantly greeted them, and they were welcome on stage to get a swag bag. They got shirts, lanyards, sunglasses, bracelets. We had cupcakes in house icing colors, candy bars with house wrappers that we created. And then we gave them time just to mingle and get to know each other and talk about what the house system and their house, what traditions and things they might want to plan for the year. So right before year 2, the plan was to roll out to students winter break of year 1. But if you remember, it was back when the COVID surge hit. So we had to put the brakes on it because half of our students were out sick. But it was a blessing in disguise because the team came back together and we said, you know what, we're just going to use the rest of the year to intentionally teach each house. We're going to take 2 weeks and really go in depth in the house history, the house crest, the symbolism, the character traits, which again was a blessing because it just built the hype and it got the students to really find out which house do they really want to choose them. And that's all we just kept telling them. It's coming for you guys. It's coming soon. Do you guys have anything else to add about that before we talk about that? Okay. So this photo was from year 2. So now we're in the new school year. We waited till after Labor Day. We're on the West Coast, so we do start early in August, but usually our enrollment wouldn't settle until after Labor Day. So we did wait again, continued to hype. We decked out the school, house subliminally, decorations everywhere, staff, Houseware Wednesdays. We were still swagging it up on every Wednesday, talking with the kids, telling them which, you know, they knew which house we were in. And they started, oh my goodness. And then we told them it's coming on this date. You're gonna find out. And that day, I'll never forget, we decorated the cafeteria as you see. The kids had to eat outside. We only have a cafeteria. We don't have a multi-purpose room. And so we had it all blocked off, but they had to go through there to get their lunch, and they were trying to peek through every second. And we're like, nope. And at lunch, you know, Dr. Contreras and I were out there, and they're just, Dr. Contreras, I want to be in the purple house. I'm going to be in your house. Or, you know, Mrs. Williams, I want to be in the black house. And they knew the hand gestures, the greetings, everything. And again, they came in, we did a grade level at a time. The team decided just to manage it. The lights were dimmed. There were black lights, blinking lights, music playing, balloons everywhere. And we greeted them at the door. Are you ready? Are you ready? And the smiles just can't even contain themselves. Our superintendent was there, board members, district personnel from our PBIS district team, lots of people invited. And then we handed out the super secret letters and we did a countdown, and then they ripped them open. Jordan, I think we have a video if we want to show one of those countdowns.
Yep. Let me know if you can't hear this. I unmuted myself, so it should work. Here we go.
Oh, it's a little like it's buffered maybe. Maybe it has to download first.
Let me get to the next slide.
We can come back to it.
There
But if I'll never forget, I still go back to that day, just go back one to the slide before the video. And the members, like the board members and the adults that were in attendance, they were like, this was more excitement than Christmas morning. And it truly was for all of us. Like, I hold that day in my heart, and we actually, our school was restructured this school year. So we are getting about half new students this year. So we get to go through this again next Monday. We are doing these reveal assemblies again, and I cannot wait. The anticipation is a buzz around our school right now. So student reveals, very important to plan out, and all the details and however you want to have them find out. Okay, Jordan, you can go to the Ohana. So each year we've refined and revisited. Again, the team always has to come back and revisit. Number one, once the kids were in their house, then we attached our tier 1 systems along with the house system to just increase that positive school culture, connectedness, and belongingness for our kids. They were instantly a member of a family within our big Tumbleweed family. We call ourselves 7 houses, 1 family. And the live school app, we partnered with them from the beginning to, they had everything we needed as far as connecting, rewarding, and recognizing students for their positive behavior, which is our PBIS system, and character, which is our capturing kids' hearts, and part of our school mission and vision. And so every student then would get recognized by anybody on campus. Everybody had the app, and they could give students points for demonstrating that character or behavior. And students could spend their points throughout the year. We have a student store, which we can talk about in the Q&A. And then also those points went directly to their house. The points were never taken away. And at the end of the year, we had a house champion. It was the house with the most points earned, all earned by students. Each year we tried to add, last year we added community service projects for each house. And then student leadership, we have student house leads. This adorable little picture here is all of our kinders and TKs are in the same house. They're the only ones that are in the same house. Our 1st through 5th grade are randomly sorted into the 6 other main houses, but our kinder is the House of Ohana. We got that idea from Freedom Crossing Academy in Florida that I mentioned earlier. We loved it. We said, absolutely. Our parent community liaison, who was on the team, she created the image there you see of their symbolic animal was the sea turtle. We let the kinder teachers come up with that. The shell is the color, has the 6 main houses, the colors of that. And every kinder promotion, the kinders find out which of the 6 main houses they promote into. And our 5th grade students come and flank the promotion ceremony, all swagged out to greet their new housemates for the next school year. And then this is our little kinder signing day. This is before the first day of school. They find out they're a member of the House of Ohana, and they sign a little pledge, much like a high school athlete when they get recruited for college. And then the results have been amazing, everybody. They've been amazing. This is our 3rd year of implementing, but really 2nd with students. But last year, once we were in our stride, we saw the biggest results. Office referrals, again, our PBIS team meets regularly, and we have a district-wide system that we use for office referrals. huge decline in office referrals. And then attendance increase, which again, we want Tumbleweed, the kids, they can't wait to be here. They're banging down the door in the morning and they don't want to leave. And then you can see how many house points were awarded on the Live School app. And so we, our vision at Tumbleweed is to have everybody live a legacy. And we have 4 core values from our work with Jimmy Casas, if any of you are familiar with him. We champion students, we expect excellence, we carry the banner for each other and our school and our students, and we want Tumbleweed to be a haven of hope. So those combined with all of our tier 1 systems, and then adding this amazing house system, that the sky is the limit for where it can take your school in regards to having your school be a place where kids can't wait to come. Ladies, anything before we?
Well, I will just say that this house system has completely changed the game here at Tumbleweed. As a social emotional learning specialist, I really don't kind of deal with the academic piece. I want to deal with the whole person, because as you guys know, that kid that's coming through those doors, they're not just a 5th grade student or 4th grade student. There's so much that makes them who they are. And for a lot of our kids, that was some really tough stuff that they were bringing to school. And I think this house system really gives them a chance to just kind of leave all of that stuff at the door, because, you know, they're a part of a family. Because maybe their own family might not have a sense of family, but they know that they have one here across the whole campus, you know, from 1st grade to 5th grade, from staff from all over. I know I have personally enjoyed it because I've gotten to know kids that weren't necessarily on my caseload, but, you know, they're in my house. One of my favorite things about it is kids that you didn't even know spoke. All of a sudden, if you say something, you know, about, oh, Nukamori is going to be altruismo, you know, this kid who's never said a word is like, no, altruismo is going to beat you. And you're like, oh my goodness. So they get super passionate about it. And that's my favorite, really just giving the kids a sense of pride for their school, and maybe just pride for something, you know. Really quickly, like Misti was talking about the community service projects, that just really touches my heart, because it gives our kids, again, a sense where they get to do something else for somebody else and teaching them that. And every single house has a different character trait, like giving, friendship, dreamers, uplifters, courage, I'm seeing one ladies, kindness. Sorry, that's her house. And so it, you know, each house focuses on what their character trait is. So we as the staff can really work with our kids in our house to say, hey, you know, like, what does that look like to be a giver? I'm in the best house, altruismo, so we're the house of givers. So I really try, when I have my kids together, what does that look like? What can we do? What can we give back? Because some of our kids, maybe they've never had the opportunity to do that, or really have had an opportunity to stop to do that. And so, like I said, I think this house system has just really changed our school from the inside out. And I've got to stop talking because I'll start crying. I'm very passionate about the house system and our kiddos, but it's amazing.
And I think one other thing to add is that the kids, they have a sense of pride for the house. So even if maybe they wanted a certain house, but they didn't end up in that house, they end up owning the house that they were put in. And you can use that to your advantage. You can use that when kids are maybe not being kind. You say, well, you're in the house of Nukamori now, is that being kind? And it's not putting it in a punitive way, but it's just having a conversation that the traits of our house, we want to represent that everywhere we go. It's not just here in school, it's everywhere you go, because once you're a member of the house, you're always a member of the house. So you could use that with students, and they understand, and they're like, I'm so, you know, they apologize. They say, I'm sorry, you know, you're right. I wasn't being a proper member of the house, or, you know, whatever the conversation may be with them.
I know we are at time. The Tumbleweed is so amazing. It's hard to condense it all into 30 minutes. First of all, I want to thank Tumbleweed, the three of you, for hopping on here today and sharing your incredible story. Like I said, I know we could go on and we could spend 30 minutes on one slide of all the incredible things that you guys have done and continue to accomplish. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. I am happy to stay on for a bit longer. If there are any questions that you have, feel free to drop them in the chat or raise your hand and I can unmute you. Just to
Stay
remind,
too.
Oh,
We're good,
perfect.
Jordan. And then if you want to give our email, I know it's on the next
Yep.
slide, I think, or
Yep.
the last slide.
Yep.
We're happy if anybody reaches out to share any of our resources and ideas.
Yep. And just one more thing. The last slide, you guys will all receive this slide deck. On the second to last slide of the presentation, here's just some helpful links if you are looking to get started with the house system. Just want to know a little bit more. We have Tumbleweed's story linked here that goes into a little bit more depth about what they've done and some other examples as well. We have a whole library of house system resources linked that might be useful to you as well. So again, thank you all for joining us. We are happy to stay on. If not, an email will be in your inbox soon, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you for having us, Jordan. We appreciate it.
You guys are the best. We really thank